Hello guys, welcome back to my lessons. Today we're going to talk about the regulation of carbon dioxide levels in the internal environment. When carbon dioxide level in the blood increases above normal limits, the receptor cells in the carotid artery in the neck are stimulated to send impulses to the medulla oblongata in the brain. Medulla oblongata stimulates breathing muscles and heart. Breathing muscles contract more actively, increases the rate and the depth of breathing. The heart beat faster, more carbon dioxide is taken to and exhaled from the lungs. The carbon dioxide level in the blood returns back to normal. And that's all. So I think you also need to know this by heart, because they might ask you to describe the regulation of carbon dioxide in the internal environment for perhaps 5 marks, and you don't want to lose this marks. Now let's talk about the process of temperature regulation. Temperature regulation is the control of body temperature to keep it as close to 37 degrees Celsius as possible to enable the body to function normally. Body temperature is regulated by what we call hypothalamus in the brain and the blood vessels and sweat glands in the skin. So now let's look at these two pictures. They're showing on a hot day what happens on a hot day and what happens on a cold day. Now let's look at what happens on a hot day. The hypothalamus is stimulated and sends the impulses to the blood vessels. What happens to the blood vessels? They dilate, become wider. This is called vasodilation. More blood flows to the skin, more heat is lost from the skin, more blood is sent to the sweat glands, and sweat glands become more active, more sweat is released. Evaporation of the sweat cools the skin. So they might just give you this picture and not all these descriptions, and they ask you to describe what happens on a hot day, or they might give you this picture and ask you, is this a hot day or a cold day? How are you going to know that this is a hot day? You will see sweat there. The sweat shows that it's a hot day, and as you can see, the blood vessels are wider. If they say give 2 reasons from the diagram to show that this is a hot day, you can just mention that there is sweat and the blood vessels, they are wider, or vasodilation has taken place. So they can ask you again, they can give you this picture on the side of a cold day and ask you, is this a hot day or a cold day? This is a cold day because there is no sweat and the blood vessels, they are narrower. So if they say describe what happens on a cold day, you're going to say that the hypothalamus is stimulated and sends the impulses to the blood vessels. The blood vessels constrict or become narrower. This is called vasoconstriction. Please know this terminologies: vasodilation and vasoconstriction. Less blood flows to the skin, less heat is lost from the skin, less blood is sent to the sweat glands. Sweat glands become less active, less sweat is released, there is less evaporation of sweat, and less cooling of the skin. So if they ask you, name the heat regulation center in the brain, that is hypothalamus. Hypothalamus regulate temperature, and it is located in the brain at the center. On the side we have pituitary gland. You can check the picture on the first lesson. This is the picture. We talked about, I said you need to know the location of all these glands for you to be able to answer all the questions in your question paper. So this is all. This is part 5. So we are going to do questions after this, and we're going to talk about the things that I didn't touch during the lesson. Thank you.